Hi everyone, welcome to Bad Barry's Bar. This is Bad Barry and this is my bar. Glad you could come in today and join us. Well, I've got a couple of stories for you today. There's a missionary and he goes out in the bush to, preach the word of the Lord and so on. And he's caught by this tribe of cannibals. Well, they take this guy in, they bring him up before the headman, you see, and the headman looks at him. He's a nice chubby old preacher. And he says, okay, pot. So they take him off, you see, strip his clothes off, and they put him in a big iron cooking pot. And they light the fire underneath, and this old missionary's in there. And he's looking around, and the old water's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, and the steam is coming out, you see. And all of a sudden, this missionary starts grinning and smiling. And the chief said to his headman, he said, why are you smiling? Why are you not shouting and crying? Why is he smiling? And the old preacher's in there, and he's grinning away and smiling. Chief said to him, go down, find out why he's smiling. So the guy went down there, said in Pidgin, and he said, why are you smiling? Why are you smiling? And the missionary said, I've just pissed in your soup. Well, I lived in South Africa for a while, and I had an opportunity to go up to Kenya, to Nairobi, and had a vacation up there. And while I was up there, I thought, I'd like to go on a safari. So I joined up a little safari group. There were about 6 of us, and we went in a car, and we went to the Nairobi Game Reserve. I mean, if you think of a reserve like a park, it's nothing like that. You're really talking about open country with all the wild animals. So off we went in our truck, and we went all around, and boy, the guide knew everything. There were lions everywhere. Every road we turned off and stopped, there'd be a pride of lions. And we go 2 miles this way, there'd be more lions. And of course, there were all the other stuff. Hippo, giraffe, wildebeest, hartebeest, all those good things. And it was really quite exciting. And I had my cine camera, and I have a lot of film from this 8mm, and it was most interesting. What surprised me most was the way the guides knew exactly where the animals were, because the animals move each day. They're not always in the same spot. They move around. These guides seem to know where they're going. And the other interesting thing about it was the Maasai that live out in the open ground there. They've got their little village, which is with the rondavels with a thatch roof and a thorn fence around it, where they go at night and they keep their animals. But during the day, the guys will go out, one guy with a herd of animals, cows, with a spear, and that's it. And there's lion and cheetah and all these other animals there. And these guys don't seem to be worried about this at all. They just take their cattle out onto the grass there, and that's it. I was absolutely amazed. I'd want a machine gun, I tell you, if I was going to be out there with this lot running around. So it was really quite fascinating to see this. Well, a couple of days later, I thought, I'd like to do this safari, and I'm going on my own. So I got a Volkswagen, went in, and off I went, started driving around there. Do you know, you wouldn't believe it, I couldn't see a lion. I must have driven for 4 hours up and down different roads, not a lion. And I thought, well, this is crazy, because I was filming, I really wanted to get some of these prides of lion. So in the end, I had to drive 15 miles back to the gate and pick a guide up. And sure enough, bingo, with him, lions, lions, lions. I mean, these guys just knew where they are. It was fascinating. And at one point, we were driving up a grassy slope, and there was like a low ridge grass. There must have been 20 lions in a big pride laid out on the top there. Well, I'm driving very slowly, closer and closer and closer, and all of a sudden, one of the big male lions, boy, he got up on his front legs and he roared. And the old guide with me said, sir, back. He didn't have to tell me, I was already in reverse. I mean, if you saw this whacking great lion there and all these others looking, it was quite incredible, but very exciting. And another part of this little trip I had was cheetahs. 2 of them were standing on a rock, and the rock was probably about this high, and there's these 2 cheetah there. And so I drove very close, because the road went right by this rock. And I stopped probably no more than 8 or 9 feet from these cheetah. And what surprised me was the size of the cheetah. I'd always thought cheetah as being like a leopard, a small edition of a lion. But these cheetahs were the size of a lion. They're very big, but they've got a small head. The lion's got a big head, which makes a difference. The cheetah's got a small head, but when you get close, you realise how big these animals are. Well, I drove by them really quite close, and they just stayed. They didn't bother, because the animals are used to cars being in the park, driving around there. And they know that they don't smell of blood or anything like that, so they don't seem to bother with the cars at all. And you can go near a pride of lions with your truck. I mean, within 10 or 12 feet and just stop. And the old lions would just look at you and stretch and yawn and take no notice. Well, at one point I was up by these lions. This is when I was on my own, and I've got my head out through the side window of my Volkswagen with a camera, and one of these whacking great lions suddenly got up and came straight towards me. And I will tell you, I couldn't get my shoulders back in through the window. I mean, I'm stuck like this. I thought, God, I'm going to get eaten. Anyway, I did get back in. This old lion came right down within 3 feet, plonked on the floor. It was so big it filled my camera up. I couldn't really get a small picture of it. And, you know, these sort of things live with you forever. They're really quite exciting. I mean, you know, you're not in real danger. But it was really fun to have those sort of things happen, to say, boy, I've been that close to a lion that had I really leant out the window and bent down, I'm sure I could have just stroked it. It was that close. But they're just used to cars, and so they don't bother you. It's amazing. And of course, there were hippos there. Of course, hippos are the biggest killer in Africa. They kill more people than any other animal. And they're quite fast when they're on land. When they come on shore, they can outrun you. So you don't want to get too near a hippo. And of course, there's all the other things, plenty of monkeys and giraffes and wildebeest and hartebeest, and they're all in, you know, big herds and that, they wander around there. But it's an absolutely fascinating place. If you've ever got the money and you want to go somewhere which is really different, you know, away from the big city, go on a safari. It will open your eyes to nature. It's a super, super adventure. Well, there's enough of me yakking away what I've done. Thanks very much for watching. Hope to see you again soon. I'll have another little story and maybe a couple of anecdotes for you as well. Bye.